This was 100%. It's got to be a setup. It doesn't make sense that that happened like that. Obviously, I didn't see him. I was looking at the chat.
So yeah, Nico's the one in the spotlight here, and things got messy real fast while he was live streaming. Right in the middle of everything, the cameraman actually backed off instead of trying to catch every second, which surprised a lot of people. You already know some viewers were like, why stop filming now? This is the moment. But not everything needs to be turned into content like that. Still, there are people who would have done the opposite and kept the camera right there saying, keep it on me, don't miss anything. That mindset is everywhere, and some creators really don't turn it off. What stands out the most is how fast Sneako went right back online after it all happened. No pause, no taking time off, just straight back to streaming and talking about it instantly. That shows how this whole thing works. When something big happens, you feel like you gotta respond right away or the attention disappears. These moments don't last long, and when there's serious money involved, big payouts on the line, it starts to make more sense why he didn't step away. From his side, turning that moment into something profitable probably felt like the move. Then when he starts explaining it, things get even more confusing. At first, he didn't even realize he got maced, which had people questioning things right away. Later on, when that came out, it made everything sound even crazier. But his reaction didn't fully match what people expect, because usually mace hits hard and sticks around. People expect red eyes, pain, irritation for hours, and that just wasn't super clear here. That had viewers wondering how strong it really was. One thing people definitely noticed though, his tooth was chipped again. You could see it clearly, same exact spot as before. And that's what made it hit harder, because this isn't even the first time Sneako has been caught in a situation like that in real life. The fact it happened to the same tooth again just made everything feel even more intense.
Everything's under control. Don't worry. I gotta handle some stuff in a second. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. I can't hide it. I was gonna try to hide it, but yeah. You remember from 2 years ago, I had a tooth filling that got hit.
So this isn't even the first time Sneako's been caught in something like this, which makes it hit even crazier. About 2 years back, there was that moment at a Nick Fuentes gathering where things suddenly went left. Out of nowhere, a security guard jumps off the stage and just swings on Sneako. No warning, no build-up, just straight impact. That's when his tooth got chipped the first time, and yeah, he had to get it fixed after that. Now when it comes to the repair, it wasn't fully clear what they did, but it didn't seem like a full replacement. It looked more like they patched it up instead of going all the way with it. Some people think it was a porcelain crown. Others say it might have just been a bonding fix where they attach material to rebuild the tooth. Either way, it held up. Until now. After this recent hit, it looks like whatever was added didn't stay in place. And what's wild is, the hit didn't even look that strong at first glance. It almost seemed like it barely connected, but clearly it did enough damage. Now here's where things take another turn. Sneako himself said he thinks the whole situation was a setup, and that's where people start questioning things heavy. Because when he says setup, it sounds like he's hinting that someone planned this out behind the scenes, like someone wanted this to happen to him specifically.
Seeing that from other streamers, like Jason, that reaction, best believe, man, if it happened to me, why do you not think that could happen to you too? What, because you think that my rhetoric is worse? Do you even know what it is? What's Jason saying? Oh, because you put up one hand? That stuff's a joke. Second, there are a lot of other people out there that don't like what you say as well.
But honestly, that idea doesn't fully line up for everyone watching. What people are really thinking is that this might not be some organized plot at all. Sure, he's built up attention and even criticism because of the kind of topics he speaks on, especially now that he's stepped into more political conversations. There are definitely people who disagree with him strongly, no doubt about that. And when public figures say controversial things, reactions can get intense. But jumping straight to the idea that this was all carefully planned, that's where a lot of viewers aren't fully convinced. You can clearly see Sneako drifting more into political talk, and that shift comes with way more attention and way more risk. The way this might have played out doesn't have to be some deep master plan either. It could be something way simpler. Someone's watching his stream, sees he's live, notices there's no security around and thinks, okay, this is my chance. That alone can set things off fast. Or honestly, what feels even more likely is this. Someone already recognized his face, remembered something he said in a clip that made them mad, and when they saw him in person, that anger just took over.
But we're fine. Everything is handled. Everything is handled. Didn't get knocked out. Maybe you'll see some stuff going forward. But yeah, not ideal. Not ideal. The tooth again, bro. It's always the tooth. You know, I started the stream when the intro was playing. I'm like, I should probably try to hide it. I was gonna like talk like this the whole time.
In their head, it's like, this is the moment, and they act on it without thinking twice. That's the real issue when you're someone like Sneako. He's built a reputation where a lot of people have strong opinions about him. One of the biggest criticisms is that he switches sides or says things that get reactions from all directions. So at this point, almost everyone has seen his face somewhere online, especially over the past couple of years. And when people recognize you, they don't just see a person, they attach emotions to you. For a lot of viewers, those emotions aren't even positive because negative clips spread faster and get pushed more. So now you've got random people forming opinions about him, and he has no idea how any of them feel when he's out in public. Now yeah, he's done IRL streams before and nothing serious happened. But that doesn't really mean much, because things stay calm. Until they don't. That's how risk works. You can be in places people call safe or dangerous, but all it takes is one moment for everything to flip. And walking around live with a camera on you, that can make it worse. A lot of everyday people already don't like seeing cameras in their face, especially in public. Add no security into the mix, and it becomes even more unpredictable. At a certain level of attention, moving around like that without protection just isn't smart anymore.
Damn! What the f? What the f?
Once you reach that level, where almost anyone might recognize you, being out there streaming freely can turn into a real problem fast. And this is where it starts to get frustrating, because what if Sneako just wants to go outside and stream like normal? Now it's not that simple anymore. He's got to line up a whole situation, make sure a security guard is available, match schedules, bring a cameraman. It turns into a full production every time. At that point, it doesn't even feel like real-life streaming anymore. It starts looking more like a planned show with a crew behind it. Back then, IRL streaming had a totally different vibe. Some people still do it the old way, just walking around with a phone or a selfie stick, nothing crazy. And when people saw that, they'd just be confused like, wait, what is he doing? Is he recording himself? Is he a tourist or something? It didn't feel threatening, it felt random. But now, when someone's got a whole camera setup and another person filming them, it hits completely different. People notice that instantly, and not everyone reacts the same way. A lot of reactions started coming in after this, and even people close to Sneako were speaking on it. One of them, Jason, had a strong reaction too. And what's wild is, even people who usually laugh at chaotic moments weren't laughing this time. It didn't even feel funny. It just felt off. The way everything happened, the energy of it. It caught people off guard in a bad way. You could see Sneako didn't expect it at all, just completely surprised in that moment. And yeah, people compared it to that older incident where he got hit before. But this one didn't have that same bizarre, almost over-the-top feel. That older moment looked unreal, almost like something out of a movie with how it happened.
Your hands on a woman, no matter what it is, man. Is it canceled? I mean, I don't know, bro. I think, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
This time though, it just felt unpredictable and uncomfortable, and that's why it hit people differently. So watching that older clip felt almost unreal, like the punch was coming straight at you through the screen, which is why some people ended up laughing at how over the top it looked. But this situation? It didn't hit the same at all. It's way harder to laugh at something like this unless you already don't like Sneako. And yeah, he's made sharp comments about people before, Jason included, and that kind of stuff sticks with people. He's had back and forth moments with a lot of individuals, so reactions like this don't just come out of nowhere. At the same time, Sneako's response after everything happened actually made some sense. He basically pointed out that something like this could happen to anyone, especially if you're out moving without security. And that's true to a certain level. Someone like Jason might feel comfortable walking around freely, thinking nothing's gonna happen. But the reality is, it depends on the situation you put yourself in. Still, there's levels to it. Sneako's situation is different because of the kind of topics he's involved in now. Once you step into political conversations and start saying strong opinions, the reactions get way more intense. That's the part people don't always want to admit. This type of situation is way less likely to happen to creators who stay in lighter content lanes.
I don't think I could do it, bro. I don't think I could do it. And I was told, like, bro, my sponsors, and like, nah, bro, this shit's crazy. And I'm not gonna lie, that this video, I don't support these actions.
Not everyone draws that kind of attention. Different audiences react differently, and some spaces come with way more tension than others. And if your content is constantly being clipped, shared, and pushed around, especially in ways that highlight controversial takes, it builds a certain image that spreads fast. One thing that stood out, though, was how Jason reacted, because it felt a bit inconsistent to some people. You can feel however you want about Sneako, especially if there's history there, that's fair. But not long ago, there was another situation involving Deshae Frost that had people talking too. More details have been coming out about that situation over time, and it's been building more attention. In that case, things got heated, and while the situation looked messy, it's important to be clear. Handling things physically isn't the move. If something escalates, the smarter option is always to remove yourself and avoid making it worse. When situations get messy like that, sometimes the smartest move is just to leave fast and not even engage.
I can't do it, bro. And I'm going to Malaysia real soon. Look, there's a lot of people were calling me. Shout out to everybody who hit me up, like Rampage and Demozirian, Aiden, Clav. Everyone's calling me. Hold on, I'm getting a call right now.
You've seen those clips where someone just takes off running to avoid trouble. That's the type of energy to have. It might not look tough in the moment, but it keeps things from getting worse. Because once things turn physical, everything escalates quick, and suddenly you're stuck dealing with consequences that could have been avoided. Now, what really had people talking was Jason's reaction after everything went down. No laughter, no shock expressions, none of that. He came in serious and made it clear he wasn't okay with what happened, saying things like, nobody should be putting their hands on someone else like that. And to be fair, that stance makes sense on its own. But at the same time, some people felt like the energy didn't fully match how other situations have been handled before. That's where the conversation started getting deeper, because people expected a broader take. Something more like, this shouldn't be happening to anyone, period. Especially between streamers who are all in the same space. Regardless of what was said online or what opinions people have, running up on someone and hitting them like that crosses a line for most viewers. That kind of reaction would have felt more balanced to a lot of people watching. There were also comparisons to how others responded, and you could see a difference in tone. Some reactions leaned more towards staying positive and hoping things don't go that far, while others were more direct about how serious it was. Either way, it shows how differently people process moments like this. At the end of the day, when you're that visible and people recognize you instantly, you never really know how someone's going to react in person. And that unpredictability is what makes situations like this feel so intense every time it happens. No warning, no talking, nothing at all, just straight action. And that whole "you disappointed me" type of reaction people throw out sometimes. That doesn't really land in situations like this. It sounds nice, but realistically, who is that even reaching? Someone willing to run up and hit a person like that isn't standing there ready to listen to a lecture about right and wrong. That kind of mindset is already locked in, and they're not trying to hear any advice in that moment. That's why some reactions, even if they sound correct, don't always connect with reality. Telling someone like that, "Hey, don't do this, it's wrong," is like trying to reason with someone who already made up their mind before they even showed up.
There are a lot of people that think that you're wrong. There are a lot of other people that might also pay somebody to do something like that. You're finding it funny, but best believe if you're a public figure like that, if you're speaking up, if you're talking about what's going on in the world, which I do, I've been very publicly anti-Iran war, public about wanting unity, especially between Christians and Muslims. If people disagree with that, you can see what happened to me. But if people disagree with you, best believe.
It's similar to telling someone not to commit a crime when they've already decided they're going through with it. That kind of logic only works on people who are actually open to hearing it. There are real examples that show this mindset too. There have been stories about people targeting others they knew were vulnerable, planning things out ahead of time and not caring about the consequences at all. Trying to appeal to emotions in those situations doesn't really change anything, because the person already justified their actions in their own head. That's what makes it dangerous. It's not random to them, it's intentional. So when people suggest that a simple message or reminder would stop something like this, it sounds good, but it's not always realistic. The type of person who moves like that usually isn't thinking about morals in the moment. They're acting on impulse, anger, or whatever pushed them to that point. And that's the uncomfortable truth behind all of this. When you're that visible, especially speaking on topics that get strong reactions, you can't predict how strangers will act when they recognize you. Some people are calm, others aren't. And that unpredictability is what makes being out in public like that way more risky than it looks. Once you step into that level of attention, especially in more heated spaces, you start giving up a certain level of safety without even realizing it. And this is where everything really starts to connect, because moments like this don't just appear out of nowhere. They build up over time. When someone is constantly in the spotlight, saying things that get strong reactions, having clips spread everywhere, and people forming opinions without ever meeting them, it creates this unpredictable energy around them. And the wild part is, you never know who's watching quietly and taking it personally. Being outside while streaming might look normal, but it's not the same once your face is known like that. You're not just another random person walking around anymore. You're someone people recognize instantly. And with that recognition comes emotion, whether it's respect, curiosity, or straight up dislike. All it takes is one person reacting the wrong way, and everything can switch up fast. What makes it even more intense is how quickly everything spreads after it happens. Clips start flying across platforms, people picking sides, arguments popping up everywhere. And now the situation is bigger than the actual moment itself. It stops being just about what happened in real life and turns into a full online storm. And while all that noise is going on, the real-world risk doesn't disappear. If anything, it grows, because more people are now aware and watching even closer. That's what makes this kind of situation so unpredictable. At some point, it really makes you question how far someone can push this type of content before it starts affecting their safety in real life.
You deserve to be publicly executed, yes. What are we talking about?
Yo.
Hey bro.
What the is that?
Because that line between online attention and real-world consequences is getting thinner every time something like this happens. And once everything settles a bit, the long-term effects start creeping in, and that's where it really hits different. Because it's not just about that one moment anymore. Now it follows him everywhere. Every time Sneako goes live again, people are gonna bring it up, spam it in chat, ask questions, replay it. It sticks with him whether he likes it or not. It also changes how people watch him moving forward. Some are tuning in just to see if something else happens, almost expecting another moment like that. Others are watching more critically, picking apart everything he says and does. That shift in attention can be good for numbers, but it comes with way more pressure and way more eyes looking for something to go wrong. And let's be real, it probably changes how he moves in public too. Even if he doesn't say it directly, experiences like that stay in your head. You start thinking twice about where you go, how long you stay out, who's around you. All of that, because once something like that happens, you know it can happen again. At the same time, it puts a spotlight on the bigger issue with this kind of content. There's always that balance between getting attention and staying safe, and situations like this show how quickly things can cross that line. So now, it's not just about streaming anymore. It's about how far someone can push things before real life starts pushing back. And moving forward, this kind of situation forces a real shift in how everything is handled. Because now it's not just about going live and doing content like nothing happened. There's a different level of awareness that comes with it. Every move gets watched closer, every location feels a bit more calculated, and the energy around it just isn't as carefree as before. It also raises the question of how far someone should go for content in the first place. Because chasing bigger moments and more attention can bring in numbers, but it can also bring the wrong kind of attention at the same time. And once that door is open, it's hard to control who walks through it. At this stage, it becomes less about entertainment and more about managing risk. Whether that means having security, changing how streams are done, or being more selective about what's said and where it's said, something has to adjust. Because doing everything the exact same way after something like this, that's a gamble every single time. And the audience feels that shift too. Some people will still watch for the content, but others are now paying attention to the tension around it. It adds a different layer to everything, whether that was the intention or not. In the end, moments like this don't just pass by, they change the direction of things. And once that shift happens, there's no going back to how it used to be.
And put your life force into a sock.
What the f is that? I don't think it's funny at all. It's not funny at all. It's just that's.
Hey bro.
And now you've got people watching even closer than before, and that changes everything. Every stream starts feeling a bit more tense, like viewers are waiting to see what's going to happen next. Not even just for the content anymore, but for the unexpected. That kind of attention hits different because it's not fully positive. It's mixed with curiosity, doubt, and even concern. It also puts pressure on every decision he makes going forward. Where he goes, who he's around, what he says. All of it gets looked at under a microscope now. One small moment can turn into a huge clip, and after what already happened, people are even quicker to react. That margin for error gets smaller and smaller. At the same time, there's this weird balance he has to figure out. If he pulls back too much, people are going to say he changed or got scared. But if he keeps moving the exact same way, then he's risking running into another situation like this. There's no easy middle ground, and that's what makes it tricky. You can already tell this isn't something that's just going to fade away either. It becomes part of how people talk about him, part of how they see his streams, part of every conversation moving forward. That kind of label sticks, especially when the clip keeps getting replayed. So now it's not just about what happened, it's about everything that comes after it, and how he moves next is what's really going to decide how this whole situation plays out in the long run. And this just shows how fast things can flip online. One moment happens, and suddenly it's everywhere, turning into a huge talking point overnight. That's how quick the internet moves now, and once something catches, it spreads like crazy whether people fully understand it or not. At the end of the day, it's good that he seems to be doing all right, at least from what he's saying. But still, seeing anyone get caught off guard like that in public? That's never something you want to watch. It doesn't matter who it is, that kind of situation just feels wrong every time. There have been other moments like this too, where people were just out trying to enjoy themselves or stream, and things got uncomfortable fast, like when those streamers were being followed and harassed during a night stream. That kind of energy is just not it. Even if it doesn't turn physical, it still crosses a line and ruins the whole experience. At a certain point, it makes you think about how different things are now. Going outside, filming, interacting, it used to feel way more simple. Now there's always that extra layer of unpredictability, and that's what makes situations like this stand out so much. But I want to hear what you think about all of this. Was this avoidable, or is this just part of being that visible online now? Drop your thoughts below, and if you enjoyed this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.